how do I even put this into words? We suffer like everybody else, but we're a small community. When you're smaller, the impact is harder because you're in an area with so much hurt, with a little bit of people. When you live in bigger areas, there's still a lot of hurt, but you got a lot of people, so it spreads out farther, and so you're not face to face with it every day with all these problems.
Rural communities are places of innovation, places with amazing, talented leaders, and the systems have not always made it easy for these rural leaders to do the things that they need to accomplish to make their places move forward.
When you're isolated, when you're remote, your experience tends to start to become inward and internalized, and you forget or can't see in the context of the bigger picture how incredibly important you are, how talented you are, and how much you're influencing the positive change you really want.
The mission of the Blandin Foundation is to connect, fund, and advocate for ideas and people to inspire resourcefulness and move rural places forward. And so as a foundation, we want to be able to understand what's the amount of money that can help them move their community forward, but yet still maintain that sense of we did this and we can continue to do this.
And so placemaking was identified as a model to use to give people places in which they can gather and actualize new learning and relationships with each other, coupled with healthy pride and identity in the community.
Blandin is a funder of the Honoring Dakota project. It's through their trust that we were able to take the initial funding and then start thinking bigger and really understanding what the needs of this community were.
We've had some very focused conversations around this dynamic of historical trauma and how it is that it still continues to affect the lives of the people today, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. The kind of social change that it brought about being, there was so much new thought space and consideration for who we are as human beings, regardless of what we might have considered barriers before.
We are actually looking at a community that is healing and coming back home.
Sometimes we think when we're talking about the needs and making a difference, you need tons of money, millions and millions of dollars. But if you listen into communities that are often unheard, their asks are very simple and modest. And that's sort of this beautiful thing about our new strategic plan, is really pulling up what's become invisible and how simple some of this really is. It's hard for us to say we did much of anything because it's community that does the work and it's nonprofit organizations that do the work. It's really Blandin responding to what it is that we see and having more reciprocity. Listen, learn, respond. Listen, learn, respond. And how we're taking that and building it internally into all the systems at the foundation so that virtually everything we do is informed by the people that we're here for.
Within all the work that I've done and all the grants that I've worked with, I really appreciate Blandin, the good work that they do, the partnerships, and first and foremost, being honoring of people different than themselves. It means we have a seat at the table. We're seen as community members today, not of the past, today.